Goody everyone. This is Dayhawk bringing to you episode 47 of Shaman King '01. So this episode is attributed to Ryu, and after for how many episodes since they arrived at Patch Village, finally the Hot Springs team is in a match. And so it starts off with Faust, Anna, Yo, Manta, and Ryu at a place called Patch Donald. Oh man. We all know where the patch stole the name from. They just yeah. And so they're there trying to get some lunch, and I've noticed that the menu, everything, I think the food either ends with patch or begins with patch, like patch burgers, patch fries. You get the gist of it. And so apparently Silva has more than one job, because you get to see Silva just either working in that particular site, like in this case, Patch Donald's, or refereeing, or Patchmark. Like, he's everywhere. Like, where's the rest of the members? How come they're not helping? But yeah, he's working at Patch McDonald's, and Anna points out that well, Yo hasn't been in a match since he got here, so maybe we should, start training in the meantime. And everybody is like, doesn't want to train. Like, you see the look of Faust, Ryu, and Yo is like, uh-oh, Anna's a training from hell is gonna start. And poor Silva is just like staring at everybody, and he stares at Yo, and Yo is giving that sad look on his face of dread, and Silva just comes into the rescue like, oh, the Great Spirit is it's all up to the Great Spirit. I mean, I'm sure he has a match for you guys. Just wait. And of course, they had a sigh of relief there. And Ryu just like decided to skedaddle. He didn't want to stay in the area anymore, so Ryu and Mata just went on assignment trying to get some information on their opponents, I guess. So they just walk around Patch Village, just wandering, and then we get a chance to see Team Ren. And poor Horo, he is angry as hell because every single day it's Chinese. It's Chinese for breakfast, dinner, lunch. Every single day it's maddening for him. And of course, typical Choco Love just came out with a lousy joke, and Horo and Ren is like, are you serious right now? And they're about to kill him. And you get to see Ryu and Monta's just like, we don't need information from them. Everybody knows this team, and they just walk past them as they were nothing. And you see when Manta is about to make that turn, you see smoke coming out from that building, so you can tell that they're fighting. So they end up at the pond, just looking at the lights, where the Great Spirit is, and they're just talking about the perfect place and all that. And then Ryu spots a woman with a deer, and typical Ryu just dives right in and tries to flirt with her, and and there's and Matcha just steps in and like, what the hell are you doing? And this woman, if I could pronounce her name correctly, Anse, uh, asks Ryu, "Is that your guardian spirit there? How cute he is." And poor Manta's like, "No, I'm not a spirit, man. I'm a human being who's alive." And Ryu just like, "Okay, this is my friend," and just toss him away like trash, and then continues to talk about the perfect place. And Anna say was asking him, "Okay, what is this perfect place?" And you know, they, they end up talking, and Ryu is giving her a flower, and the deer, which is her guardian spirit, eats the flower. And just as they were trying to get close, Ryu gets punched by this giant hand, this giant fist, and next thing you know, this man appears with a lamp, telling Ryu that she is off limits. She is my fiance. And I think his name is uh Haun. and and then he ends up slapping his he ends up slapping the fiance. You know, you're not allowed to speak with other men. You're with me. That typical um uh typical type of thing. I don't know. It's difficult to explain. But I think it's somebody who is insecure and overprotective, I guess. But Jesus Christ, I mean, whatever. And then Halloween is telling Ryu that he's garbage, and that you've you live a life of privilege, and he had to endure so many things. He witnessed a lot of things, that he lives in a place where everything is barren, humid. It's really hard to find water, because he lives in the desert. And it's a struggle for him and his people, because, it's really hard where he lives. And he's basically telling Ryu that you people are taking life for granted, while we have to struggle and make ends meet, find water, find food in the area that we live in. It's unfair. And then after that little speech, they leave. And then back to the restaurant where the yo-yos are eating. And then they receive a message saying that the next match is between Team Hot Springs versus Team um, Arabian. And guess who is Team Arabian, everyone? Yeah, the couple that just left, not in the last scene. Ooh. So Ryu has to fight his crush, I guess. And so the next day, Team Hot Springs versus Team Arabian, and they're in the middle of the desert, believe it or not. And the match starts, and they end up getting separated. And the main goal was to have Ryu alone while Yo and Faust is dealing with another opponent, which the Guardian Spirit is a giant bug, apparently. And as as this giant bug creates a sandstorm, the audience, mainly Anna and Yo's friends, are just watching like, oh, they can't see a thing. And you see Silva, who's supposed to be refereeing the match, he's just there with them, and with what it looks like he has like a box full of tea he's giving out, and Horo is like, are you supposed to be the referee? Should you be in there? Like, no, it's too dangerous. What are you talking about? Oh my god. And of course, during the whole sandstorm situation, Chocolove with another joke, and as Horo and Ren was about to beat him up once again, Anna just beat them to the punch and just sends Chocolove flying. Meanwhile, Holoin and Ryu has this one-on-one matchup. Um, Holoin summons his guardian spirit with what looks like to be a genie, a giant genie, and the genie is beating up Ryu. Um, and poor uh poor Insei, she's just like, in the back, and there's nothing she can do to stop it, because for one thing they're in a match, and two, what it's like, okay, I don't want these two people that I care about fighting each other over her. And Holoin's just like shuts her up and tells her that you're my fiance, you should be quiet and obey me. And so Ryu gets all fired up, and he ends up unleashing his aura soul. And so Holorin and Ryu have this head-to-head matchup, and Ryu ends up being the victor, and the sandstorm ends, and then Yoa gets spooked by Silva, and Yoa's like, "What the hell? Did you just pop out of nowhere? Like, what just happened?" Well, the match is over. The match is over, guys. And so you get to see Ryu and Holorin on his knees. He can't believe he got beaten by a commoner. And Ryu is like, well, the reason you lost is because my strong belief of my best place, and that you are pretty much a douchebag. You only care about yourself, and that's why you lost. And this is where Ryu gets his heart broken, because uh, Ansei approaches her fiance, and they talk that, I love you before this arranged marriage, and I wish you didn't act the way you did, and Holoren is saying the same thing, like, I loved you before this whole thing, and, let's just fix our relationship and all that. So, Anna Ensei leaves with her fiance, and Ryu gets his heart broken, and I'm just like, you leave with the guy that just slapped you early on in the episode and tells you to be quiet and stay still while he and Ryu had this one-on-one duel against each other. Like, if I were her, like, she should be like, can you stop treating me like I'm your property? I'm your woman. Or be like, I can't be with you because the way you treated me and all that stuff. But, I mean, what the heck, right? So Ryu gets his heart broken. Team Hot Springs just waves goodbye as they leave in their magic carpet. And Anna and say thanks Ryu for just teaching her what her best place is and wishing them good luck. And the person in robes, she was the one who has the giant bug as the guardian spirit. She ends up getting disrobed, and next you know, I thought that the robe person was a dude, but no, it was a woman, a good-looking woman, and Ryu is again, his eyes turns to hearts, and Manta's like, of course he will never learn. So he tries to flirt with pretty women, and he ends up getting his heart broken, just like someone we all know in another anime show that starts with a P. So that's the end of the episode. It was a fun episode. It's just the overall episode was about Ryu flirting with some girl and gets beat up by the fiance who thinks that you live a life of privilege and you take the whole world for granted. We live in a place where we have to survive and find water and find food, so they live a really harsh life. And the match is all about Ryu and Holorin having this last man standing while Faust and Yo is just been cut off from Ryu, and it's pretty much Ryu did all the work, and it's just like they were fighting for the girl, but Ryu leaves empty-handed even though he won the match for his team. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the episode, and I hope you give a like and please leave a comment of what you like about this episode, what you didn't like the episode. I know this is all one, but I'm trying to be interactive. And yeah, so I will see you all on the other side of Oblivion, guys. Johnny!